What's up, everybody? It's Matt from Night and Day Performance. We're at the dyno. We're at CNZ Performance, renting some space and some time. They've helped us get this Trackhawk dialed in. Ryan's over at his shop on the keys, and he's already sent us a tune file over. We're going to get loaded up now. We got it strapped down. We're going to go ahead and make some pulls. We've actually modified some items. We put a 10% lower on the 10% overdrive lower, and we put a 275 upper along with the E85 that we were already running before. Remember last time we made 749 rear wheel horsepower. We're gonna go ahead and check to see how much power we're making this time. My estimate's 850. Some of the other guys 800 to 830. So looks like 800 is the mark that we need to hit. So leave in the comments if you think that's gonna happen or not, and we'll go ahead and catch you guys in a few. Let's listen to some dyno runs.
Alright, so we had an issue. So the issue ended up being that, as you can see over in the corner, the belt is actually walking forward on the pulley. Ryan called us and he said, hey, for some reason you're losing like 4 pounds of boost at the top of the pull above 5,000. You need to check for belt slip. So when we checked it, we found that, and we thought it was the crank pulley alignment. So there's nothing we can do about that at the dyno. So we left, pulled it off, took it back to the shop, started investigating, and the harmonic balancer was perfectly installed. Everything was right. Nothing was rubbing, and we started researching. After about an hour and a half of researching and looking at different options, I realized that I had installed the AAD belt tensioner in a different slot than the previous installation spot that I had it at. I actually had it shifted one slot over to the right, which shouldn't have been a problem because there's holes for it, which means it's meant to be used. But as you can see from the picture, the belt wrap is curving. Now sometimes if you get too much belt wrap, what can happen is the pulley is going to be turning, and then the belt's going to try to go kind of 2 different directions at the same time. So as it's trying to go up and over, it's also going to be trying to pull under, which would cause it to push off and try to not come off the pulley. That could have been what it was. It could have just been that the idler was too close and the tension could have twisted it a little bit to push it off. I don't know. But we shifted it one spot to the left and it worked. Didn't walk off anymore. Belt stayed on. Did a couple test pulls in front of the shop. Everything was fine. So we went back to the dyno. And now we're going to go ahead and see if our fix worked and how much boost we're making, and if everything is working how it should be. Let's see. Alright, so we have an issue still. The belt is not slipping anymore. The belt is not walking off, but we're estimating this should be around like 18 pounds of boost. And it's staying around like 15 and a half to 16 pounds of boost. And the RPM is going up. The boost is not increasing with it above like 5,000 or 6,000 RPM. So Ryan said that either we still have a belt slip issue or we have a restriction. Something is causing us not to make the boost. So Ryan advised me to try to take the filter out of the intake because it is a factory intake. So instead of just taking the filter out, I took the whole filter box off. We just removed it at the dyno so that we could see if that was the issue, if that was our restriction. So we're going to do another run now after that is removed, and we'll pull you around to the front so you can see the pull and see if that fixed the problem that we had. This pull, as you can see, 765 rear wheel horsepower. It's like 15 more than it made before, and we've increased by what's supposed to be around 3 to 4 pounds of boost. So something is not right. We should be making more than 100. And the crazy thing is, in the dyno graph, if you look at the two comparatives, it's increasing 100 plus rear wheel horsepower all the way through the RPM range until it hits like 5,000 RPM, and then it just kind of stops increasing horsepower. It goes right back to close to what it was before. So something is taking our boost away. Is it a restriction in the intake? Let's see. And Ryan was right. So 865 rear wheel horsepower is a lot better. That is closer to what we should have seen. And we saw 18 pounds of boost. And as you saw in the video, the inlet tube, the plastic inlet tube, kind of like compressed, like it was trying to pull that in too. So it definitely made the boost, and it was a lot louder that time. And it made all the power, all the boost, all the torque. So we fixed that problem. We figured out what it was. We're going to end up getting another intake, which is going to be like an SMB or something similar, equivalent that Ryan is working with as well. We're going to try to figure out something that's free flowing. This truck in specific, when it races at the track on this pulley setup, will probably be running without a filter anyways. So that will be his horsepower numbers that he's expecting. But we found a problem, and the question is this affecting other street cars as well? As far as boosted cars like Hellcats, are they having the factory filters cause restrictions, and can you free up horsepower with them? Well, that answer is yes. It looks like we're getting to the realm where we're going to do some testing and some development to see how much power these cold air intakes are really making on the boosted cars. NA cars really don't make that big of a difference because normally you add heat soak when you put a cold air intake. So the heat coming in the engine, it's not really a cold air intake, it's a hot air intake. However, if we have boost and it's restriction of the flow, I can't talk. If there's a restriction because the filter's not letting enough air through, then a cold air intake would help. So we'll get to that soon. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But basically what we're looking at is 749 rear wheel horsepower, and I think it was like 515 foot-pounds of torque is what we had with the Stage 2, which was an increase of around 150 rear wheel horsepower on the Stage 2 build that we did, which is good. Stage 2 was FIC 1200cc injectors, FRP's 289 upper, stock lower, and the Titan 2 cam kit. So that was the Stage 2 build, 150 rear wheel horsepower gains. That was healthy. So we went to the Stage 3 now, which basically was all those options, and then we put a 10% overdrive lower and 275 upper, up in the boost by 3 to 4 pounds of boost, and our increase there. So the FRP Stage 3, if you go straight to that, you're looking at around 250 rear wheel horsepower and right around 200 foot-pounds of torque. We picked up a lot of torque, 711, I believe is the number that's on the screen there, compared to the 500 and something. So we picked up almost 200 foot-pounds of torque, And it picked up all the way across the RPM band, not just at peak. So it's a good option for you. So if you're looking for a stage 2 or a stage 3 or any of the FRP cams or installation, give us a shout. nightandayperformance.com. 713-344-2191 is our phone number. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, of course here on YouTube. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave those below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.